Hey, Wookiverse. How's it going out there today? So, today I guess we're going to look at some small items you can carry if you're going out in the winter or even if you're going out in the summertime. Um, because we've been seeing in the news lately how it's almost any time of year, but living up near the White Mountains that people are going out and not having gear they should have, basics. One guy was out hiking. He had some stuff he should have had. Um, he was missing a couple things, ended up hurting his ankle, needed to be extracted from the mountain. Um, and some other guys over on Mount Monadnock, young kids, they left. They went up the mountain after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So dark was already setting in. Um, they decided they were going to use their phones as flashlights. Another bonehead move. You don't use your phone as a flashlight. It's a communication device. One of them had been drinking. They ended up falling. One fell right into a creek, or up there it was most likely a spring. So they started getting wet, and being wet, you're going to end up with hypothermia, especially up on that mountain. It's a small mountain, but the winds come through it real quick, just like any of them. So, some small things. The guy who sprained his ankle, most likely because he was prepared, for the most part, won't have to pay for his rescue. But the ones who went up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, when the dark was settling in, one was drunk, most likely they're paying for their rescue.
Wasn't there was another one too. I believe it involved a female, but it really doesn't matter because it happens so much all the time.
Yeah, it's like, every other week you'll see a headline somewhere that, a hiker was stranded, a hiker was rescued, and it's usually because they don't have the equipment they should have.
So I think it's changing now. I mean, wasn't it free before? And now
because it's happening so often, because people feel they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, and they don't have to be responsible for themselves.
So now it can cost what, tens of thousands?
Easily, depending on what happens, and depending on what, basically what units they have to, or resources they have to bring in. If they have to call over to Pease Air Force Base to pull in a helicopter because they need a heavy-duty helicopter to pull somebody off a mountain, that's a lot of money right there. You're pulling up a great big frigate helicopter, for military helicopter, with the fuel, with the crew, going out, whatever the maneuver is to try and get you up, plus all the other volunteers that are going to be out there trying to get to you so they can guide the helicopter to you.
I remember before talking to people online, and people were saying, and they were arguing, everyone was arguing with each other, but the Hiker's Pass was paying for rescues and stuff like that. That's a myth. The Hiker's Pass, the people that even buy one wouldn't even come close. So mostly it was the state, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure that if you've got the Hiker's Pass, and you're following what's listed on it and carrying that gear.
Exactly.
If you've got that gear on you and you've got the pass, as I understand it, you won't end up having to pay for the rescue unless you've done something grossly stupid. And then at that point, it's going to be up to whoever's in command of the rescue to decide whether or not they want to charge you for that rescue, or they may even just send it to state to figure that out from there.
And then also I heard, and we talked to people personally that work for the state and for the feds. Now, there's a huge Fed cut, so we all know that. I mean, everybody should know that by now. There are not federal forestry workers hardly out there at all. But so the other thing is with the volunteers, because insurance is so expensive now, volunteers are not risking going out saving people because of that reason. Have you heard that too, or
No.
no? Okay.
No, because there are still people out there who believe that search and rescue needs to be done regardless. That
Of
things
risks to themselves, and then they can't.
Things are more important than what an insurance pusher has to say.
Yeah, but honey, see, they don't have insurance themselves, so
I understand.
they're not risking it.
There are a lot of them that will.
Okay. Well, all right. There's no point ever in arguing. So this is what this grouping of stuff right here is what caused these people to be rescued, right?
This grouping of things
The gear
is what they lacked,
right?
causing them to be rescued.
And
needing to be rescued.
Right, and I wanted to do this before Christmas, and I just never got around to it, because these would have been like great Christmas gifts, because they're all in the $20 range, really. Right? So, except for the power bank, but I mean, you don't know.
Power bank, some of the lights.
That's around $23. So that's the Nightcore NU20, and it's about $23. Then there's that little button compass. Yeah, one had problems because they couldn't figure out where they were, and they asked them to go in a certain direction.
Sure, one guy.
And they didn't have a compass.
Yeah, one guy injured his ankle. If he had had trekking poles, he could have probably self-extracted himself. Self-extracted. So trekking poles and some kind of compression bandage. This is a SWAT tee. He could have wrapped his ankle with that. Probably throw a couple sticks underneath it so he could have actually braced it up and splinted it. That would have stabilized his ankle while he was doing that. Kept that lifted, and then walked himself out with the trekking poles, which is basically what the rescuers ended up doing.
Yeah.
They brought him trekking poles, they splinted his ankle, and they walked out with him.
Right, yeah.
He could have saved himself a lot of grief if he had carried his own equipment and learned how to use it.
Yeah, so the other thing is from the military surplus.
So this is a SWAT tee.
And that's a rubber band.
This is a cravat, or just a triangular bandage. There's a bunch of uses for it. If you've got a sprained ankle, it's a last ditch try to splint with it. You can do it. A couple sticks, you got to roll it up real tight. And then you start wrapping it around with the sticks inside, and you'll have to gate it up like you're doing an old lace thing. Mm-hmm. But, it's better than nothing.
Right, and if you had the trekking poles in that, So
you can do that. Some of them slipping in the snow. So you could do something basic like yak tracks, or you could even get more in-depth. There are plenty of ice cleats that you can buy that just slip right over your shoes or your boots when you're heading out. You get up into those areas and you just start applying them. That way there keeps you some traction on the ice, because I've yet to find a pair of shoes that are actually going to give you traction on the ice.
Now those, I got those years ago. I looked them up and they were $20-something. They were cheap. They're not like they're something great.
You can pick them up in most hardware stores.
Yeah, but we've used them and they worked great. So again, some kind of snow cleats. Anything is better than nothing. This was a few bucks at Army Surplus. We got these when they were like $7, but I think they're $15 now. So this is the SWAT, SWAT, and then it's a T after that, which is a tourniquet 3-in-1 compression bandage. Obviously waterproof because it's rubber, but if you sprain an ankle, blow out your knee, anything, I could go on forever for that. And it also is a tourniquet that works. This is a Nightcore Gen 3 power bank that weighs ounces.
So
10,000.
that gets back to the whole don't use your phone as your flashlight thing. With everybody's out with electronics, and you got a 10,000 milliamp hour battery right here to recharge your stuff. So if you get into an emergency situation, then you know you want to be able to recharge. It will also recharge like some of these smaller lights, like these, and get you at least enough light to extract yourself from wherever you're at, perform self-rescue, whatever. And this is just to make sure you've still got complete communication using your phone. So you carry that, and you'll be able to recharge your phone or hook it up to your phone and charge at the same time.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. With the night core and some power banks, you can use them plugged in like that. Some of them you absolutely can't. Some lights you can, some lights you can't.
And some lights you can't access the higher functions, which are okay because most of the time you don't need those higher functions. Most of the time you just need the lesser lumens in order to light up your trail and find your way out. You don't need 500 lumens in order to find your way out.
Oh, he snuck through. That's who I've been fighting the whole time.
Sit.
So this is a good gift. This is the Olight O-Clip Pro. Tiny little thing, weighs ounces. I don't have the stats in front of me. It's easy to find out. There's reviews on these, whatever. I just got the Wookiee one for Christmas.
There's review on most of this gear.
Yeah, there's a clip on this, but the whole thing about this is it's an emergency beacon. So this is going to flash red, and the rescuers, if you shine it up at the sky or whatever, through the forest, rescuers will be able to find you. And again, I think the runtime is like 22 hours on the red flashing on this. So that's a long time. The other thing is any of the night cores. This is the NU-20, which is a newer rendition of one of their first ultra lightweight headlamps. This also does the same thing that the Olight does, but one is none. And the difference between this one and the older model is it's USB-C.
What do you think?
So, when you can have that signaling, and this you can be moving around using as you try to figure out what you're doing. And then for Christmas, the Wookiee got me this little Sun 2 compass. So at least I have a clue where I am. And if rescuers say, okay, they pinpointed me, walk north or something like that, you have a clue. It's so stupid not to have a compass.
Right, just for cardinal directions.
Yeah. This is another tiny compass that is really cheap. I got a rubber band on it. That's what I'm trying to get off right now. But it's a 10-in-1 tool. And it has a good compass. You'd have to open this. I can't do it with one hand. What are those? Those were like $10. I don't know how much they are now.
They're closer to 20 now.
But it has 10 little tools in there.
So there's built-in hygrometer, so you can tell what the humidity is around you. There's a level. There's a magnifying glass, your compass, a mirror. So you can use this all together as a engineering mirror.
It's a sighting, right?
Yeah.
Flash mirror.
Like lens-static compass. And that's where you would read your relative humidity. That's where you would read your temperature. You got the little poker here so that you can push different pieces of gear out of it. So like up here, that's your striker for your ferro rod. It has a little tiny ferro rod in here.
And you've got that to work.
Yeah.
And then it has the little teeny whistle.
There's your ferro rod. So
You'd have to put it up against your hand. You can't see it at all. Yeah.
So that's the ferro rod.
And he's actually started a fire with that. So if you know how to use a ferro rod, there you go. If you don't bother.
And then you've got your whistle. You got the little tiny whistle.
Which is actually louder than the one I'm going to show you afterwards.
So that's your whistle. And, I mean, this is just a fun little gadget for anybody out there who's just into gadget stuff. Gear junkies, that's just a fun little gadget.
And it's not junk. That's the whole thing, too. We got the originals in the military surplus store.
Oh, the one other thing about this is...
It's not junk.
Right there.
Yep, it has
a little flashlight, and the little flashlight will actually illuminate all your other things.
The compass, yep.
Your compass, your mirror, or last ditch effort, a flashlight.
Yeah, the compass glows.
So, I mean, it's... Yeah.
And it weighs nothing.
It looks silly, but, it's a fun little gadget.
It's something that I've carried ever since you got me the first one 15 years ago. I mean, the compass is always accurate and everything. So, and then, of course, trekking poles. Yeah. Oh, that's my lighter, yeah.
Something else is get a good waterproof sleeve and you can carry your lighter. This is an Exotech big lighter sleeve.
You can wear it around your neck.
You can do all kinds of things with it, and once you seal it up, it's pretty much waterproof. Once you get it down there, there's ribs on that make their own little O-rings. So that gives it a waterproof seal.
Yeah, if you open that up again, please. Can I see that? I can't do it with one hand, but if you're lighting a fire, say, you can put this up over the mechanism that holds that down, and you can use it without keep flicking if it's an issue. Let's just put it that way. And the cover, you did put it on the bottom. The cover goes on the bottom, and you can lash this around your neck. Okay, so next is just a little Gerber dime that I have. Anybody can get whatever they want.
It's basically a multi-tool because you never know what you're going to need out there. So you always carry some kind of multi-tool. Just like Gerber dime. There's a signal that I got years ago for Father's Day. And this one does all that stuff.
Okay, so like what I'm thinking of is people like me, I'm never going to carry that. Kids, people that just want to go on a day hike. I got out the Gerber dime because actually I like the Leatherman better, but they don't make it anymore, the Leatherman Squirt. Whoops. But at least you have something, because if you wouldn't be watching this if you carried a Leatherman signal.
Here's one of the benefits of carrying a Leatherman signal in your pocket. When you're running out of tinder and you go and move something, there's a small piece of tinder right there. All kinds of pocket lint builds up inside your pocket. So.
All right, so I think we made the point. A handful, I bet this would all fit in the Wookie's hand. A handful of gear for teenagers, people that aren't into prepping, people that are clueless.
It's stuff you could throw in your pockets.
Yeah, I mean, look at how small that is. You can even throw the Gerber dime in there.
A lot of people were wearing, cargo pants for the longest time.
No, it's yoga pants now.
Even yoga pants, and that's only girls. So,
Or thin sports pants.
yeah,
Look at
but
the,
a
the
lot of them,
boys. They're almost like yoga pants.
you can take all of this.
He's gonna go old school now.
I mean, you can take all this.
Did you forget the
Basically,
little compass?
basically just fold it all up and stuff it in a pocket with your compass. That's
Okay.
what the whole thing looks like all together.
So the next layer is we got the Swagman scarves, which we did a little testing on over Christmas,
Yeah.
and they really do make a difference. And the bottom line on these things is, if you're not absolutely, huge, meaning I'm saying like tall and wide, you can actually fit in the Swagman scarf.
Pretty much if you're right around average or below, you have no problem with it.
So say 5'10", 220, you can fit in it.
Yeah.
That's probably the max. Otherwise, you can put it on your legs and keep your legs warm in the sleeping liner mode.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, you can use the poncho mode and everything else like that.
But the biggest thing about this one is that it's a scarf. So you're just pulling it out. And the storage bag becomes just a real quick and easy little lightweight pocket right there. There's a strip back here that you can use in order to keep the hood down.
The hood flat, yeah.
So that if you're using it in a blanket mode, or if you're using it as, a quick cover,
Scarf.
then it keeps everything out of the way. Then with your scarf, basically all you're going to do is just roll it, fold it, whatever you want to do. Put the zipper on the inside so that it doesn't start irritating you. And you've got your scarf.
So if you head out on a hike on the shoulder seasons or in the winter, you can put this on, and this isn't something that you're going to have to carry in a bag. It's a scarf. It's simple. You just put it around your neck, boom, go.
You got a scarf. You can put it that way. It's going to keep everything here, right across your chest. And if you're being real active and you've got to open up your clothing for ventilation, as long as you keep this over your chest, you're going to keep a lot of wind off of yourself. And you find yourself not getting,
Moist.
moist or having issues with your lungs and your heart later on. So you can do that. And I mean, anything you can do with a scarf, you can do with this. This has the hood in it, so you can do all the other stuff with the hood. We've got videos on that. So this is just a good piece of gear. Like I said, it's just lightweight, and it's a scarf.
So that man that injured his ankle could actually have wrapped that.
Yep. You could have used this to wrap his ankle up with it.
Yep.
It's no big deal. You put a couple sticks in there. Like I said, start down low. You just keep going, and wrap your ankle with it.
So that could have got him out of there with some... Well, he could have used sticks for trekking poles, but to get...
Well, to find a couple sticks when you're already injured, it's kind of...
Yeah.
Especially ones that'll be weight-bearing.
Yeah. All right, so we've gone over the swagman scarf
Yep.
and added in why it would have been beneficial for these people that had to get rescued for tens of thousands of dollars at their cost. And
Yeah, I mean, if you have this as a scarf, you can take it out, put the hood up, and still use it as a scarf. So you're keeping a lot of body warmth because you lose anywhere from 50 to 80% of your body heat through the top of your head. So if you've got that covering it, you're retaining some of that body heat. And that helps keep your limbs pretty much a lot warmer.
so if you're stuck up there and you just can't go anywhere, that's it. Even with the flashlight, you might have to. Well, rescue takes what, 4 to 6 hours?
Depends on where you're at, but yeah.
Yep. So you got to stay put, and you're freezing. Okay. You have this in either the sleeping bag mode or the poncho mode or whatever. You're still cold. What can we add is my question, and I answered it for myself, but what can you add to help you out? Now, every single prepper channel, survivor channel,
Nothing is foolproof.
nothing, right, but
So you're always going to have to figure out what's going to work for you. Old school, carrying a couple heavy-duty trash bags.
how much do you think that weighs?
A few ounces.
Like 2-3 ounces.
Somewhere around there. So you want to have a minimum of like 3 mil thickness, and as big a capacity as you can get. And do all kinds of things. You go old school, make that your poncho if you need to. It's pouring out. If it's going to be a browse bag, you can fill it up with leaves, grass, whatever. Fold it up, sit on it. That gets you up off of the cold ground. There's just all kinds of information out there on what you can do with it.
Because the cold ground is going to suck the heat out of you, right?
Right, you lose your body heat through conduction.
Okay, so a simple trash bag. Another good gift you could get someone is something like this. This is a climate sit pad.
Yeah, it's just an inflatable seat.
That-
A lot of people take them when they go to football games. They'll inflate these and put them on their seats on the bleachers, or in their seats when they're going to a football game or sporting event.
So this is just a few ounces.
Again, it's all small stuff. You can put most of this stuff in your pockets.
All right, these are two really cool things. Now, I added stuff to mine, and I'm sure the Wookiee did too, but these are one wind. They're either a tent footprint or a beach blanket, or they go under different names. But if
They're
you want to,
basically ground sheets.
if you want to find them under Amazon, you're gonna look for tent footprint.
There'll be a link in the description anyway.
Okay.
Most of the time, I put links into the descriptions so that they can be found easily.
Okay, so this is waterproof nylon, obviously, because it's going to be a ground sheet. The bigger one is 4.5 feet by 3.25. Now you can see I stuffed a ridge line in here and some, what do you call these? Prusik
knots.
Right.
Or Prusik loops.
Which it's kind of like a, what do you call it? An instant ridge line or whatever.
They're just friction loops that'll go against your ridge line and help you tighten things up. Once you've got a load on it or any kind of tension on it is when it tightens itself and it doesn't move. So that you'll get a better set up shelter, because everything will be pretty much tight, and then that's able to shed wind. It's able to shed water more readily because you're not going to have wrinkles in it, which are going to be places that the wind or the water can gather.
So I actually took, what bank line do we use?
I don't know, probably 36.
Number 36 bank line. I took one strand out and made my fresset loops because of the... This is Dyneema, right?
I don't know. It's just some kind of
It's
100-pound test for kites.
I think this one is 300 pounds, but whatever. The line is too small, so 2 strands work great, and he didn't think it was going to work, but it did. It holds. And then I just got 2 monkeys carabiners on there. So anyway, this would be your top cover, and this is something to sit on, to put on the ground. This isn't going to keep you warm. It's going to keep you dry. You'd need some kind of sit pad, or like the Wookiee said, you can fill your swagman scarf with debris if you can find dry leaves.
Yeah, turn it into a browse bag is what they call it.
So branches from a tree or whatever. But if you have a trash bag, you're better off using this for that and keeping your swagman as cover or whatever. So this is just another little handful of items in addition to what we already have. Forget the compass. That's going to be too much for people. You can get a mini Bic lighter. I mean, forget this big one because people just aren't going to do it. But, and there you go. Now, I just took out this small Mountain Smith waste pack because I can actually get all that stuff in here. I have a few other things. Maybe the Wookiee will talk about those, why I have them in there.
So, got this bandana here, which work as a signal device. And if you feel yourself panicking, this one has like lots of little pieces of information. So, one of the things you can do is if you feel the panic coming on, you can actually just kind of sit there and start reading things. Try and calm your mind down so you start thinking rationally. So like on this one, there's hiking safety. Keep campfires small. Respect the wildlife. An idea of what different animal tracks look like. If the stars are coming up, how to find the Big Dipper and the North Star. Different knots. There's all kinds of, just little pieces of information. You've got another bandana, so another thing that if you actually have to treat an injury, you've got it. It can be used as a bandage, or dressing cover, whatever you need to do with it, and it's a bright orange color so that you can use it to attract attention. So that's pretty much why that's in there.
Okay, what else is in there?
Water filter.
So that's a Frontier Pro mini water filter. The straw is in there somewhere.
Got cordage for whatever you need to do.
This is about 8 feet of paracord, and this is 25 feet of bank line. Now, obviously, this is a little bit thicker and much better to use than this stuff, but to get people to carry it is going to be tough.
So those are the main things. I'm not pulling the whole thing apart.
Well, there's hot hands in there that I think are important. There's a straw for the... That's a poncho. Cheap poncho. Orange, so you can be seen. There's hot hands. I got 2 sets. One for your hands, one for your feet. And a foil blanket is in there. Now again, the foil blanket with the swagman, if you had to put it in sleeping bag mode would help out, wouldn't it? At least a little bit.
The foil blanket, I would most likely put it up underneath the tarp so that would reflect any heat that you're giving off back at you, and bring it around so that you're getting that heat reflected back at you, because this will never insulate you. All it's going to do is, if you're trying to use this out in the cold and the wind's whipping, all it's going to do is create a cold spot on you.
Shred.
And shred. It's better off having it there. And that way there, if you've got something going, if you've got a small fire in front of you, the heat's going to go up and it's going to reflect back at you. It's going to increase your personal temperature, your little area of temperature control.
Your pocket.
Your pocket. So that you'll stay warmer.
These used to be fairly reasonable, but they are expensive now. Again, these are 15 years old. This one is one of these blankets and a little bivvy or something you slip into, like a sleeping bag. Are they worth the money anymore? What do you think?
No. Like I said, you get no insulation out of them. All they're going to do is reflect back any body heat that you've got going. They may work as a vapor barrier, but you still have to have insulating, and you have to have protection from the elements. And if that's what you got, yeah, it's going to do a little bit, but not as much as everybody's touting.
Here's another one. These were half the price of these back in the day. I don't know how much they cost now. The reason, this is my personal kit right here, which is way too much to get into. Just like the Wookiee's chest rig over there. Okay, I use a waist pack. But the reason why I have this on mine is that I can cover my legs. I can at least keep my legs and my feet warm. I don't expect it really to use it as a body bag. And not only that, how about getting too hot in there and sweating, right? I mean, that would be a disaster. You would get, as soon as you got out of the Mylar, I think, I can't remember his name that did the video on it, but he proved that it doesn't work.
Well, my own personal experience back when I was in high school, I had one of those blankets, and I was sleeping up in a garage loft during the winter time. And I figured, 18 years now, 17, 18 years old, that little blanket's going to keep me warm. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what they said it would do. So I wrapped up in it. And I was cold all night long because it didn't insulate me from anything. I wasn't generating any more body heat, and that wasn't generating any heat for me. So I found out that it was totally useless.
Maybe just to keep the wind off.
Yeah, well, I was in a garage, in an attic, and there was no wind. Wind
or rain. I don't know, but I mean, the trash bag is bigger.
That was under basically controlled conditions, and it was a miserable night.
Yeah, and now I think these things are aren't these like $30, $40 now or something crazy like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. And this one I think was like $13. These are in the $20, $25 range now. And it's just, I mean, I don't know. Trash bag and hot hands or something like that. I mean, these things you can't go wrong as long as they don't date out on you. They do have an expiration date, but these will at least keep you from getting frostbite, right?
I mean, if you're using those and you're throwing them inside, then inside your bivvy, it might do something, but you're still better off putting those inside of, like, your boots, maybe behind your knees, under your arms, places where major arteries are going to be flowing by, because that warmth will transfer into the blood if it's in some of the major spots. And like I said, under your knees, you got arteries that are running back there. It's a good place to put them. And you can try it on the inside of your thighs, but I think you're still better off with your knees.
Your neck? What about your neck?
You
Yeah.
can do it on your neck, one up around your neck, underneath your arms, like I said,
Okay.
because there's more.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, those are just good areas to put some of these.
So the next thing I have there is a rain jacket, which is absolutely a real rain jacket. It's waterproof. It's not a cheapo one. And that's just to represent
A rain jacket
layering.
works. Yeah, a rain jacket works great for wind protection and a vapor barrier. And a vapor barrier is just trying to retain your body heat. What these Mylar blankets are supposed to be doing. So if you've got your rain jacket, put that over a couple layers of insulation, and that'll keep a lot of your body heat inside of you.
That's going to do so much more. Just bringing a rain shell. And
Yeah.
and you can even, like,
Create
if you have a little backpack, you can throw it in there or just latch it onto your You can put this on a belt loop. I mean, anything. There's kind of like no excuse not to carry some kind of rain shell, I think.
Yeah, and all you're going to be doing is adding to your own little microclimate.
It's not for rain exclusively. It's a part of the layering system that I was hoping that you'd get a little bit into on how to dress properly when you go out.
Oh, everybody just has to learn how to dress themselves. They have to find out what works for them. Because you can have a guy running around who has no body hair, and his needs are going to be a lot different than someone who has like moderate body hair like I do, or some of my friends who are incredibly hairy, and their body needs are going to be different. So their ventilation needs are going to be different. So it's basically you have to figure out what's going to work for you.
So you basically start off with like a merino wool tee or tank top as your base layer all year long, right?
No, there are days I use polyester because I need the polyester to pull the moisture away from me.
Okay, I thought merino wool did that too.
But it retains the wetness.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I get it. All right.
So the merino wool for me becomes an insulating layer that if it does get wet, it's still going to insulate me somewhat.
And then you have some kind of mid layer.
Yeah, they're normal mid layers, and then
fleece, whatever.
Yeah, then your layers, outer layers.
Your puffy jacket, packable puffy jacket. And then this makes your packable puffy jacket into a ski jacket. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, more or less.
Because it makes it waterproof.
Waterproof, windproof.
Yeah. So the next thing I have here is just a thin buff and a thicker neck gaiter. And this was really inexpensive. These are like $8, but again, whatever. This can go over my whole face and I can still breathe underneath this that is more specifically for my neck, or I can wear it as a hat, blah, blah, right? And have the swagman scarf on and just wear that over my head. So those are just ideas.
I mean, you can put that on and put the hood for the swagman on here too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Because that creates your insulating layer right there. Where the swagman just creates a vapor or a windproof layer.
Just trying to make some room here. So last thoughts are, that's the smallest pot I have. That's the toques. What? 4?
So this is great
4 liter or something?
if you've got water available, or
Snow.
if you can get a fire built. First, you have to be able to get a fire built.
Yeah.
So if you can't get a fire built, then, I mean, yeah, you can use that as a snow shovel.
Yep. Just an idea to put in a pack. At least it gives you a last ditch attempt to melt snow, or
The thing to do is get a little
450 milliliter.
You get a little burner, you get a little 4-ounce container. You throw that in there, it'll pack that way. You can get a Trangia stove and carry a little bit of fuel with you. And that way there you'll be able to heat water if you need to heat water. Or even if you've got like something silly with you, like, Lipton soup. Just powdered soup. Or cocoa. You got a thing of cocoa, you got coffee, tea, whatever. You heat up your water, you put that in, and you'll increase your internal body heat by drinking hot liquids.
I actually had a couple fuel tabs in there because it's just as easy to make a little stove. You just have to find a couple little rocks, stick your fuel tab in the center, put some rocks, put your fuel tab in the center, put your pot on there, and you don't need, where doesn't have little rocks? I don't know. Maybe there is such a thing. All right, so this was just the smallest modern day water filter, the bee-free. These are going to freeze, right?
Yeah.
So they have to be...
Yeah, most of the time you have to keep them inside your jacket. So your body heat is keeping it from freezing. It's keeping the water where it should be, in the state it should be. And you're not letting your elements that are going to filter everything freeze up and cause damage and make this useless.
So that's the 2025 with the carbon filter. The carbon filter, it does, the Be-Free is not claiming this. This is through research. The carbon filter is the part of these portable filters that takes out the heavy metals and the pesticides. Again, they're not claiming they put the carbon filter in there for that reason, probably because of liability or something. But it does have one. It at least going to give you a chance. I don't know if you have the Grail here, but...
And the big thing about any of these things that we've been telling you is you need to do your own research on this stuff and find out what's going to work for you.
Right. No question about that. But the reason why I got the small... I have a bigger one too, but the reason why I got the, 0.5 liter... is because I'm not interested in carrying water in this so much because we're surrounded by water here. I'm interested in filtering the water and having a little bit to get to the next place where I can find water. I can't carry a lot of weight, so whoops, someone's tired. But the other honorable mention is the Grail is the one that's going to filter out everything. The Wookiee got that one for Christmas. Another honorable mention real quick is a small backpack. This one's by 4 Monster. I've been using it for like 8 years now. This thing is bulletproof. But if you don't want to carry a big... Oh, there's the Grail. Okay. That's... I don't know how much it weighs, but that's the thing that's going to do it for you. If you're serious.
So the Grail basically works like a French press. You take and you fill this up with water. You insert this very slow, and then you do a slow, steady push down, which forces the water through the filter, which will fill up the vessel inside here.
So that's the Holy Grail.
So this vessel right here gets filled up with your clean water.
That's going to take out the viruses. And I found out that it even does the norovirus. They will not claim every single variant of the norovirus, but that's what's going around right now and getting people, especially hikers and campers. It doesn't matter that it's freezing cold outside. People are still out there if they go to shelters or whatever, and they're getting sick.
Well, viruses don't always die because of
the cold
weather.
Yeah.
A lot of times they go dormant until they get heated up, which a lot of people have been finding out who have been going to like the South Pole or the North Pole or glaciers, and they look at the water that's coming up out of the glacier and say, oh, this is so pure, it's never been touched. But you don't know if the virus has actually been dormant in that great glacier the whole time.
Well, look at the
and
H1N1.
it gets warmed up, and it becomes active again.
The Spanish flu. Where do you think they reenacted that from? They dug up the frozen body or whatever it was. Okay, so I think that's about it. We've gone way over time now. A handful of stuff could have avoided hundreds of thousands of dollars. There is tiny gear out there that doesn't cost a fortune, like these little one-win things. Again, that we're all talking like $20
Most of the gear
or
comes
under,
in
except for the
somewhere under-
Grail.
Most of the gear comes in under $100, except for like the Grail.
The Grail and the small battery, the Nightcore 10,000 Gen 3 ultra lightweight. So that's about it. Hopefully this helps people. I'm sorry we didn't get this out before Christmas because, I mean, most of this stuff are Christmas presents, wouldn't you think? I mean, this 15 years ago, some of this stuff is so old that we've had, I've had and used. And that's the whole thing is like, we use this stuff. So these we used to get in the military surplus store. These do work. These are one of the better filters, which I was shocked about. But this little thing is going to do, I forget how many, like 20 gallons of water. Yeah. Who cares? It's an emergency item. And what's good about this compared to something you put water in and suck out of, as opposed to, you want both, in other words, because if you have to go into a puddle or something like that isn't enough to fill up this bag, this is useless. This you can drink from anything, anywhere. You just stick the straw into here. I can't do it with one hand. But this is the way to go. It always seems like, I only need this. I'm going to fill out this with water if there isn't enough in the stream to...
Take your bandana.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But then you're putting China dye and everything.
Well,
you're contaminating your water worse than what bacteria might be in there. So I'll end with that. I'm not going to lecture on China dye because it's like drinking a Tide Pod.
If your filter can take out chemicals, and it's going to take out the China dye.
No. See, that's the whole thing. They proved that it usually doesn't. It's like drinking a Tide Pod. But anyway, let's say all white and a Happy New Year. Again, maybe late Christmas gift ideas or something to think about before you go out in the woods in the freezing cold, at the very least.
All right.
All right.